Thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast, proudly presented by Little Caesars. Code 1099 bundle, classic pepperoni or cheese pizza, crazy bread, and 2-liter pizza. Or 2-liter pizza. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. 2-liter soda, or code LCFREECC. Free crazy combo with pizza purchase. All right, now joined by Ben One White, and we have Kobe L. Thiel that is joining in as well. But oh my gosh, this was awesome. Arizona beats UCLA in a game that I think that, well, it looked like Arizona was going to lose for quite a while.
Yep.
Sorry, I was jetting over here from Copal. It was great seeing everybody. Adam Epstein, really cool seeing you, my man. And we'll get into that, but let's talk about it though. And you got to give. I almost said Jared Bayless, Jaden Bradley. Jaden Bradley. This is why you have players like him. He played terrible. He played terrible pretty much the entire game. But, man, when Arizona needed somebody to be able to hop in there and take this game and salt it away, to quote my really good buddy Jeremiah Dibble, that's my point guard right there. That's my point guard. And big win, made piles again in tonight, and here to share the wealth, natty or nothing, 1999 Jeremiah Dibble. That's my point guard, Ben One White.
Ride or die with Jaden Bradley. And it was a wild game, right? There were like 4 phases where Arizona just started so slow in the beginning, turned the ball over defensively, didn't look right. UCLA was, of course, ironically enough, having probably their best shooting performance of the night all season. And then things kind of turned, right? ADO carried Arizona in that first half. I thought outside of ADO and really Krivas, the whole team did not play particularly well up until kind of that second half midpoint, but just a wild game up and down. You knew it was going to be the case because UCLA was going to slow the tempo down. Arizona's a team that likes to go fast. They like to score. They like to get to the basket. And in a night where your best player in Koa Pete, along with Bradley, does not have a great night, ADO steps up. Jaden Bradley obviously steps up in the last 5 minutes of the game. And this is why you win good games like this when you're a good basketball team. You find ways to win. And when Arizona has the plethora of guys that they do, you can be in positions like this where things are going wrong. Everything's going wrong, but yet you find a way to win. And that's what we saw today.
Kobe L. Thiel?
No, I mean, Jaden Bradley showed up when it mattered. You could tell, too, when he was coming down the court, he wanted to take those shots. You could tell he was waving everyone off. It was like, yeah, this is my team. I'm the one finishing this. And that was one of the most clutch performances we've had in quite some time. I mean, he took over in the last 2 or 3 minutes, and he really took dense lunch down the stretch.
He really did. Now, the other one we got to give a lot of credit to. A lot of people crap on ADO. I'm sorry. Take a seat. I get that he's not a great defender. I don't care. I think ADO is awesome. The other thing that I think was really cool about it is, who else do you have in there, like a guy like ADO, that, you basically say, okay, hey, dude, we need you to come in here and shoot free throws now and basically close this game out. The Bulls had Michael Jordan. Arizona Wildcats have ADO. That's the way I look at it. He doesn't miss. This guy is, like I said, these two guys down the stretch were absolute killers.
Yeah. ADO, right, along with Bradley, there are 2 guys that when they have the ball in their hands, they're not going to be afraid to take any shot. You right. Draw up for them. They're not going to be afraid to do anything. And ADO was consistent, right? He put his head down and he played his game. He did not care what UCLA did defensively. He did not care about the tempo of the game. If he got an open look, despite, how maybe quick that window was most of the time, just because UCLA was zoning in on a lot of those shots, he was going to take those shots and make them. So, yeah, I mean, he's tremendous. You talk about senior leadership. You talk about vets on this team. And, Arizona is in this game solely because of him at halftime, right? They're leading by 3. He had 13 off the bench. And, this is kind of what ADO does. We've seen it in games throughout last year and even other parts of the season where, Arizona offensively is just struggling and they need a guy to make a shot. And this is why you bring a guy like this back, because a perfect game like tonight where nobody else is hitting, your best player's having a terrible game offensively, UCLA's packing the paint, there's nothing he can do. And Jaden Bradley obviously didn't turn it around there till the end of the game. So ADO is terrific. I thought offensively, it was a struggle for them. Defensively, I thought Arizona did pretty good for the most part, outside of a lot of the wide open threes. And we'll get into all of that. But no, man, ADO is a guy you want. And this is why you bring somebody like this back.
Yeah, let's get a couple of these super snaps here because they're coming in hot and heavy, and we very much appreciate super snaps. Okay, let's see here. I don't want to miss anything. Jeremiah Dibble, we got you. Appreciate you. Beautiful. 1999 super snap. Bear down Arizona. Now, UCLA or AZ Wildcat fan, UCLA lost this game because they could not score on the perimeter with their guards. Totally agree with that. And wings against Tobe Awaka's defense over and over. Now, TJ Wilmore, the great TJ Wilmore, the underappreciated guy stepped up tonight. Props to Deli and Awaka. Then with Bradley being the man saved us. Krivas was good too as well. We will get to Krivas because that is a now never doubted ADO. Thank you, Lance. We like ADO on this show. Let the record show that Mr. Tyler Warden supported ADO and Krivas all off season. Jodis, this team will only reach its full potential if Krivas plays like a man. $4.99 and $9.99 super snap from Udafo. Deli, baby. Yes. This was just, like I said, and I want to talk about this in a second, but you talk about something too that was just the margin for error on this team is something that I think we have to talk a little bit more about, because when you look at the margin for error on this team, Arizona didn't get Braden Buries, who we'll get to, was awful. Obviously, Jaden Bradley didn't play well. Koa Pete had a bad game, and Arizona still beat UCLA.
No, I mean, we were talking about ADO earlier. He did more than just shooting as well. I mean, he had 3 assists, 2 boards. He hit 4 out of our 6 total 3-pointers for the entire game. He really did stuff the stat sheet, but this was a game in which not much of anything went right for 35 minutes, and they were able to keep in it, kind of stick around, and then Jaden Bradley took over late. But I think it was a story of the whole cast kind of just showing up. I thought Krivas had a great game. I thought ADO had a great game. We were talking about Buries. I thought he really struggled, but I thought defensively that was the best he's looked. He didn't get lost off the ball as much, and I thought he made a couple of really good doubles that were pretty smart down the stretch. So that's good to see. But it was nice to see Tobe and Krivas really get going, because they haven't exactly had the best start to the season.
Right. Yes, they haven't had the best start, and I think the thing about it, though, too, is that if I were to tell you before this game that UCLA would shoot, 10 of 15 from 3 or whatever it was some
they went 9 of 17.
9 of 17.
After they shot 27% from 3 the first 3 games combined.
Yes, 9 of 15, whatever the case may be. But then, and that Arizona would get all these performances, some bad performances, and would still win. You would take it. Now Rudy Bastillos is in here, and I'm going to say this about Rudy Bastillos: this guy's been crapping on ADO ever since I've known him. And you need to take a seat on that one. There, he's my ADO. Now, let's talk a little bit about Krivas as well. Dennis Walsh caught some. Dennis Walsh caught some. He caught some pause. He caught some all of that. That's where we kind of go from there. But what'd you think about Krivas though?
I thought that was as well of a performance you could ask for somebody like him in a matchup like this. 10-8 and 2 blocks. And when he scored that 10, more times than not, when he went up in the low block, he wasn't hesitating, right? He had a mismatch advantage, or he was overpowering the defender, and he made quick decisions. I think with him, right, sometimes he gets the ball in the low block, he looks around a little bit, hesitates, pulls up, maybe passes out of the lob, but he didn't do any of that. He made quick decisions. I thought defensively he did exactly what he needed to do. He didn't get beat on really many assignments, and not only that, I thought Awaka was there too to help. I mean, how many opportunities did somebody like him create on the offensive glass? So Arizona got a lot of second chance opportunities there in the second half, to get the ball in somebody like Bradley's hands, ADO's hands to make the shots they needed to make. It wasn't pretty, but, people are going to give all the credit to Jaden Bradley, and all rightfully so. But Arizona definitely doesn't pull off a victory here without Krivas and Awaka doing what they did tonight.
Right. Kobe?
No, I think a good way to put Krivas' game. I mean, 10-8. He did have 3 assists, which is really nice too. I mean, he was really good passing out of the post. But I thought his points were timely. In moments when the offense was sputtering, I feel like he was able to, let's do a little flip shot and he'll go in. We'll stop this little 5-6-0 run. Or I'm going to take it to the bucket and score. He had a lot of very timely buckets, which was helpful tonight. But I thought defensively, he really got after it. I thought he had 2 or 3 blocks, and he really does take up a lot of space in the paint. You can tell guys don't want to drive on him just because he's so big.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing, too, is that he provides a lot defensively as well. I mean, I get that he's not perfect. I get that. But how many times has he altered shots? How many times has he blocked shots?
Oh, he just does it naturally.
And he
Because
does
I
it
think
naturally.
he had nine altered shots today, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's 7'2". He's like 260. He takes up a lot of space on his own already. So you're not going to want to drive into that.
right.
And then so you're already forcing the other team to shoot more mid-range shots, and they're going to want to anyways. And then he's just so tall, even he doesn't move very well. He's going to stick his arms up, and that's going to cut off half of your vision of the basket.
Yes. Now, Harry Lex, we were talking about you, Harry Lex, with Dennis Walsh at the watch party about the Jets backing up, and we will talk about that a little bit more. Also, let me ask you this: you watch this team, and I've been saying this for a while. I don't necessarily see a team in the country that's better than Arizona. I'm going to keep saying that. Again, Arizona, when they beat Florida, did not play that well. I mean, they left. I'll put it to you like this: they left a lot on the table. We're going to get to Braden Buries here in a little bit, but there were a lot of guys that didn't play well against UCLA. The guys that you expect to play well did not play well. From your Jaden Bradley to our, until winning time, to your Koa Pete did not play well. Braden Buries was awful. And Arizona still won in UCLA. I think that's just something that you just have to keep looking back at.
Well, that's what good teams do. And I think it's weird because as Arizona fans, I feel like the last decade or so, you haven't been able to say that, if Arizona makes mistakes, lacks scoring, doesn't play all that well defensively, they don't win a lot of those big time games. And I think you're seeing a team where that is certainly possible. Given what you saw tonight, the scoring droughts, some of the other gaps on the turnover side, especially early, that's what good teams do. I mean, when you talk about teams like Houston, you talk about teams like Purdue, they can beat you in a number of different ways. And I think Arizona being at 5 right now is pretty spot on when you kind of compare them to the rest of the fold. But at the same time, to your point, Mike, I don't think, maybe outside of like a UConn or maybe a Houston, you kind of look at Arizona's roster top to bottom and say, yeah, that team's just clearly better. Again, matchup wise, they match up really well. Every player has its pros and cons, and we've certainly talked about Krivas, which is not a great example in this instance because he had a great game tonight. But, you talk about matchups, you talk about rosters. Arizona's right there with any other team in the country, and certainly atop of the Big 12 when you're having that conversation outside of Houston.
Now, Too Busy Winning says, got to get over Houston. Samson owns us. This isn't last year's Houston team. I like how Arizona matches up. I didn't like how Arizona matched up at all against Houston last year. That did not do they lost a lot, and they're struggling this year. We shall, like I said, we'll see how it plays out, but that was interesting. Now, Anthony Humbert says Purdue's cold soup. It's it's Big 10. Don't really care about that. So
I don't know. They did look pretty damn good against Alabama the other night.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched that game, but they looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll still take Arizona. I back the A. You guys don't have to back the A. And you know what I also came away from thinking as well? UCLA is actually a pretty good team. They're now, are they great? No. But that's clearly a top 25 caliber team right there. And Arizona, like I said, this team makes plays when they have to make plays. And I think that's something that's also really exciting here. And it also kind of reminds you, too, that, yes, we are a football school, but basketball also does play a big part in this, Ben One.
Yeah, believe it or not, basketball sometimes does surprise us. Football definitely carrying the load there. But no, I mean, UCLA is, I think, a solid team to your point. Dent is as good as any guard, you're seeing right now play in the country. I know he didn't have a great game tonight, and you got to credit Arizona to that, but they have a nice roster in terms of their size, and they're obviously not going to play at the tempo that Arizona does, but they can slow the game down and beat you up and punch you in the mouth, and that's what they did. And Arizona responded. They punched back, and it was just really nice to see Bradley kind of take over and the game conclude the way it did. But yeah, UCLA solid. You weren't going to look at this non-conference schedule and overlook them for sure. So Arizona's on the right track when you talk about what happened tonight, when you talk about what happened to Florida, and you keep coming back to the fact, and you hit on it a little bit earlier, is there's just so much left to be desired, right? There were just so many instances. I think Kobe said it, 35 of the 40 minutes. I thought UCLA, I'd say 30 of the 40 minutes, UCLA was clearly the better team. I'll give Arizona the last 5 and then maybe the last 5 of the first half. But Yeah, I mean, you look across the board, there's just so much more that this team could be doing in terms of talent, in terms of consistency. And you just have to wonder to yourself, what happens, when we start seeing more consistent performances? What happens when Braden Buries hopefully figures it out on the offensive end? Team's going to be really, really dangerous when that happens.
Okay, let's get a couple reads in here. Somebody, if you can give me the ASU score, by the way, that'd be great. Let's start with Copal if we can, Mr. Cody, because I want to talk about this. It was a great, really, really fun time.
Gonzaga up by 10.
All right, yeah, good. Keep it going. All right, now, Copal was an awesome time today. Got to meet a lot of people here. Dennis Walsh was there. The great Jerry Reyes was there. I got to meet the Delgado sisters were both there. They do exist. I got to give them a lot of credit. I was curious whether both of them existed. They both existed. Andre was there. My parents showed up. A bunch of different people. Matthew Bothwell was there. Lots of folks. Macbeth, B-Cat, all of you guys. You guys are all great. I very much appreciate it. And, again, some people got the Mike Luke Elote rib. Yeah, that's my name. So don't wear it out. All right, book your next large. We're going to have some more there. It was a great time. Copal.
Is the rib actually named after you, or are you just...
Well, I don't think it's really named after me, but, I like to
maybe one day
for it. Yes, I like to take, again, credit for it. Yes. Okay, now, it was a really good time. Yes, Jose L. Roman Jr. was there as well. Yeah, somebody checking on Rich Carrillo. Good call. All right, now, Green Valley Decorative Rock. Ben. Holy moly, look at Ben 1.
We work towards it, Mike. It gets better every show.
All right, now Kobe L., you're up.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
It's not going to sound so great through the AirPods. But...
I need to practice, guys. I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay. But either way, Green Valley, Ben's was wet. I agree with that. Now, Green Valley Decorative Rock, though, check it out. It's not just in Green Valley. We know that. Idiots think it's in Green Valley. It is not just in Green Valley. 50-plus locally sourced landscaping materials. East of Benson, Sierra Vista, west of Marana, south of Nogales, north to Oracle. Yes, and serving residents and contractors. Kobe will work with that off the work. Yes. Sounds like the spit vacuum at the dentist. My guy, that's very true. Yes, Green Valley Decorative Rock. Back the rock, baby. Get in there. Yeah. Get in there, Rudy. Go. Okay. Now, what else we got? All right. Land the Man is in here. Land the freaking man with the master plan. I had the championship package inserted into my mouth, and it has stayed in there. It has not left, and Land did an amazing job. I got to give Land a lot of credit because I fell asleep during it. That's how good Lan is at what he does and his craft. The only side effect was nothing that had nothing to do with it. My mouth felt good. I just had a lot of gas from the antibiotics, and I still have a lot of gas. But this is also not Lan's sister, though. I don't know how else to say it. This is not Lan's sister, but we will treat this woman with respect. Period, point blank. This woman will be treated with respect. But at the same time, get the championship package, baby. $19.97. Check it out. Daily urgent care Monday through Friday. Dental implants at affordable rates. Okay, yeah, Lan's the man. Okay, now, all right. Let's talk about this a little bit. How is this different? This is so different. Did you crop dust me? I tried to, Joseph. Now, I got to say this. Remember last year? I leave my sister's name out of your mouth. Okay, it is the antibiotics. All right, I got to give. Remember last year at this time when we were talking on the postgame show about, or which postgame show? Arizona played like poo the entire out of conference, and you didn't really have much margin for error. So when we got into Big 12 play, we basically had kick behind. And we did just, and Arizona did pretty well in that. Now we're getting a little bit of gravitas built up here. I would expect Arizona to probably enter in at around 3. I would imagine that's probably where they'll check in the national rankings. They're going to move up a couple. But now you're starting to bank those wins. Oh, a 999 super snap from Jeremiah Dibble. Buries is going to figure it out. We're going to get definitely not playing well, but most likely his first time facing that kind of adversity. Coming soon, BB breakout. Agreed. But guys, these are massive resume builders that Arizona's got, and you just got to keep them going. You got 2 marquee out of win conferences already.
No, this is completely different than last year. I mean, last year we were sitting here, I think it was December. I was like, I don't think we're going to make the tournament. We're like 6-6.
Right.
And this year I'm like, all right, You're 4-0. You have two big wins out of the way. Like, let's get greedy. Let's get for three.
Yeah.
Let's get for four of these big wins. And last year we had to scrap for every single win, and now it's like, all right, let's keep building on the resume because right now Arizona probably has the best resume in college basketball at this moment in time. I don't know how many teams have 2 ranked wins. There's probably very few, if any.
Yeah. And I think, too, what's a little bit different, Mike, is this year's team, there's just so much to build on. Where I think last year's team, obviously, you had Caleb Love. You were going to get the good and bad with that. But a lot of the players, you kind of just knew where things were at. And whether it was defense, just playing sloppy, not playing quick, not playing well, to start halves in non-conference games or even really games in the Big 12, you kind of wonder to yourself at times, like, how much of that was correctable. Whereas I think this year, you look at the way they've won these games, and I think you're going to look back, in February and March and be kind of thankful it played out this way because you were able to learn from it. You were able to overcome it. And when you've got 2 freshmen in Buries and Koa playing the way that they are, obviously Buries has not played well. Koa had a great game against Florida, struggled tonight. You have seniors on that team that can carry, and make things happen, right? And that's what's so nice about this roster, right? Whereas you can go to somebody like Pete to attack the basket if that's not working like it did today because UCLA is big, they have size, they're going to pack the paint. You can rely on your wings and guards to make outside shots, and that's what ADO did, and that's what Bradley did the last 5 minutes. So I just think you have different ways to win, and it's not that last year's team didn't. They certainly did, and we saw it in stretches in the tournament. That Oregon game, Arizona doesn't win that game, I don't think, without ADO making shots, and then obviously Duke, they played very close. Bradley was phenomenal. So it's not to knock last year's team in those games. They were certainly similar, but I just think there's a lot more upside and potential. And obviously that's given with a lot of teams. It's November 14th. It's totally understandable, but I just think we've only seen a shadow of how good this Arizona team can be this year.
Yes, there's 525 people. The Queen of Wildcat Authority and of EZ12, the lovely Miss Shelby K says there's 525 people in here. Everyone needs to get with the Wildcat agenda and hit the like button. Yeah, do it right now, please, please, please. Angry Mike after getting roasted on his show. How am I getting roasted?
That's an odd one, but I'm going to piggyback on Ben 1 right here.
Yeah, who doesn't? I mean, be careful on that one.
All right. But
if we say Ben 1, it's usually not true, so be careful.
Yeah, piggyback on. Yeah.
No Ben 1.
You hop on the Ben 1. Yeah.
So I'm going to piggyback on that, but I feel like this team's different because they're a lot more versatile. I mean, yeah, we talked about being able to win in different ways. Like I didn't think that a lineup with Krivas and Awaka would be their best lineup in a game, especially against a ranked opponent. And they just threw it out there, and they obviously practiced it, but they can win in a lot of different ways. And what's exciting is this team is nowhere near as good as they can be. They have a lot more. They have a lot more pieces they can add, and they have a lot more different things that they can add. I mean, Buries has obviously struggled. Koa has looked off past game or two. The shooting can be less than desired at times, but we're sitting here at 4-0 with 2 great wins. I mean, they can just get far better. Where teams in the past where they were so veteran laden that they weren't able to make that season growth. So we should be able to see this team in full force in March.
I got a question. How was Arizona actually able to win this game and against Florida? The spacers would lead you to believe that you have to have 15 three-pointers. What's happening? Kobe Altheel, you're a spacer. How is Arizona winning this games?
Well, they actually shot decent tonight. What was it, like 6 for 17? That's decent. But I will say they did a good – I will say I think UCLA kind of played into that. If they would have played at a faster pace, UCLA was shooting lights out, so that would have been a bigger differential there. But they play at such a slow pace. I don't really think it mattered that much tonight.
Yes. Okay. Now let's. All right. No, we got.
They only shot 15, I believe. UCLA was like 9 for 15 or something.
All right, let's talk.
17, yeah.
Let's talk about Braden Buries, but we got a couple super snaps in here. Jose L. Ruman Jr. says, "I love that UVA is winning without peaking just yet. We don't want UVA to peak in November and December." Yes, and Miser, the great Miser. I like how the $10 super snap. I like how the announcer said UCLA and Zona won the Pac-12 23 times combined, but like 18 of those were Arizona. That's like saying Delhi and Yvonne combined for 24. Oh, that Miser, that is very funny though. That does make me laugh. Okay. So let's talk about. Oh yeah, interesting. Very interesting stat. The SEC is 1-7 against ranked teams so far this year. Weird.
Is
By the way,
the SEC the new Big Ten, Mike Luke?
no, because they actually have athletes.
I know.
They have athletes. I'd like them to be, but no, the Big Ten is just atrocious. Yuck. Okay, all right. Now let's talk about Braden Buries here a little bit. I think he's going to be okay. I do. There are a couple things though about him that that obviously are. He's very. I mean, again, he's got skills for sure. I think he's going to be good. But there's nothing quick twitch about him at all. I mean, he really kind of relies on an old man's game. And right now he's out of rhythm. That's the best way that I could put it. He doesn't look comfortable out there. A guy like that, you need to have being comfortable. And right now, Ben White, he's not comfortable.
Yeah, I think with him, it's like one of two things, right? Either the possession is super rushed and there's not a good shot, or he just passes the ball right away and doesn't want to work through it. Or sometimes he'll hold the ball, try to outpower a guy, get to the lane, and just do things that you're not going to be able to do at this level. I'm sorry, dude. This isn't high school. You're not 2-3 years older than all these guys out on the floor. I mean, these are athletes. These are D1 college basketball players. So it's a totally different game. Defensively, I think it's really easy, especially with a player like that when they're so young as a freshman coming in. It's really easy when, your offense isn't hitting for just your entire game to fall out. So I am encouraged because of how well he's continued to play defensively, and especially tonight. But yeah, offensively, there's no rhythm. He's their worst wing far and away out there on the floor. It's hard, I think, at times to get him involved because you just don't know what he's quite going to do. I mean, he was 1 for 9 from the field. So it's not like you can say that he didn't have opportunities to shoot the ball or get the ball, So again, there's a lot to be left desired there. And I think it's just a couple of different things, like I mentioned, right? Sometimes the game is just, I think, too quick for him. He's not making decisions fast enough, or he's holding the ball too long and defenses are keying in on that. And then he just doesn't know what to do. There's a turnover forced, vice versa. So there's a lot left for him. And, again, this is only early November, right? This is only game 2 of a real non-conference opponent. So I'm not sounding the panic button, but at the same time, with somebody like him and what the expectations are, you can't have games like this if Arizona's going to win down the stretch later in the season.
Yeah, Kobe L.
I thought tonight was actually his best game defensively. I thought he moved better off the ball than he has previously, and that's good because past couple games he's got beaten off the ball or got lost on shooters multiple times, and I mean that's a good improvement. But obviously he needs to figure it out on the offensive end. I feel like he's just kind of forcing it a little bit. Right. This offense, the ball's going to come back around. There are times he just kind of becomes a ball stopper to where he holds on to the ball for 10, 15 seconds. Like this offense is built to move the ball around. It's going to come back. Like if you give it up, it's probably going to come back at that possession at some point. He just needs to slow down a little bit. But I was going to laugh at too. I see a skier tweeting that Cronin spent the first half of his presser talking about Donovan Dent's injury and how it impacted the game. That's how he spent the first half of his presser, was talking about how Donovan Dent's injury impacted this game.
All right.
Kind of discredit a lot. All right,
I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here, and then don't let me my ADHD take charge because I want to get back to Awaka here. Why did this dude acts like he's 6? Like, I mean, what a pathetic loser this guy is. And I don't care. Somebody's going to say, oh, Mike, he makes more money than you. I would never trade my life for Mick Cronin. That guy sucks. This guy goes out of his way. It's insane. It's never his fault. And you know what maybe my favorite thing about Mick Cronin is that he always says, he's like, oh, yeah, he's like, our players just aren't good enough. They just aren't smart enough. They just don't do any of this. Hey, dummy, you're the one that recruited him, buddy. You're the one that recruited that roster. So and then when he says, he's like, yeah, our players are dumb or our players are this or that. No, dummy, you're the one that recruited the dumb players that you like to talk about. Why in the world would any parent ever send their kid to play for this putz? You look up putz in the dictionary. This is exactly what this guy is. I mean, I don't think that I've ever seen a more vile coach in college basketball ever. And he always says something too. He always says something like, he's like, well, we just have to be able to, they've got to basically listen to me, this or that. Or then he starts blaming the officials or anything. The dude is a massive loser, and his dad's a loser as well. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and I think it was funny because they interviewed him at halftime, and he was just a total, I guess we can say dick, right? He was just a total dick about it.
Oh, he's awful.
It would help if we made some shots. The only class in this game is the suit that I'm wearing. It's like, dude, shut up. Nobody wants to hear that. But no, you're right. I'd be interested to see behind the scenes what the players really think of him. And, sometimes that can be hard to assess in the nature of NIL, and all these guys are getting paid. So maybe some of these guys are just like, as long as I get my money, I don't care kind of thing. But UCLA is not what it used to be, right? They're still a very good basketball team, but you can tell that he's totally just sucked the culture out of that basketball program.
I mean, can you imagine Kobe L going and saying, guess what? I'm going to, you know what I want to do? I want to go play for Mick Cronin.
Look, we've all played sports. All of us here have played sports at some level, and I think we can all agree that Mick Cronin is someone that I would not want to play for. He's going to throw me under the bus anytime we lose, even if it's not my fault. Right. He's going to complain. He's going to be just a jackass the entire game. I can't even imagine
and when you do well, and when you do well or win, you're not going to get credit. He's going to take the credit.
Yeah, he's going to take the credit.
What was it last year when he said something along the lines last year of how he's such a great coach. He should be coaching like the Lakers, but he's coaching UCLA just because that's what he's doing. Something along those lines.
Can you imagine that guy coaching? Can you imagine that guy coaching in the MNBA?
No, he'd get thrown out of every single game because college officials allow for them to get berated. But that doesn't fly in the NBA. They throw people out.
All right, let's see. Now, I will say, would you rather play for Cronin or Bobby Hurley? Bobby Hurley all day.
Oh,
the reason
Hurley
why is because Bobby Hurley, and I know people don't really get this, Bobby Hurley is actually a really nice guy. He's just a maniac when he's coaching.
But it's never about his players. He always stands up for them. It's always the officials or somebody else's fault.
Well, that and Bobby would let me do whatever I want, which I'd be completely happy with, too. Like, Donovan Dent went there. He went from going like an up-tempo system to going to Mick Cronin, where he has like the leash on his neck the entire game.
It's the Sean Miller play, Mike, where the guard has to look at the bench every possession. What do we do on this possession? Do I have free run to try to make a play? Do I pass the ball? What do I do, coach?
Well,
Tell me.
He was scoring like 20 points a game last year, and they would play like a really up and down. I think they were like 5th or 6th in tempo in New Mexico. And he goes to UCLA, and they're just like, no, yeah, we don't do that here. Mick is just going to make you walk the ball up the court every possession.
And look what he did to somebody like Donovan Dent. I mean, Donovan Dent had a good game, but you could tell. I mean, you could just tell by watching Donovan Dent for 5 seconds. Imagine what he would do with somebody like Tommy or just any normal coach that isn't a total moron. He wouldn't be going 12-8 or 12-6 during a good game or anything like that. He's just a putz. And when he gets out of basketball and he goes somewhere else, yes, that guy absolutely swallows his gum. You can say anything you want about him. He is terrible. And you just look at Tommy Lloyd. Tommy Lloyd's somebody that just gets it. At the end of the day, Tommy Lloyd, I think, gets life. Mick Cronin is, I guarantee you, all of us right now, everybody in this chat, Ben One White, Kobe L. Thiel, even without air conditioning, are going to be happier people at the end of the night than Mick Cronin. He sucks. Go away. Shoo. All right, now, we got to give Tobe Awaka some real credit. We're going to talk about the man of girth and what he deserves, but let's get a couple reads in here first. Yeah, the man of girth. Girth, baby. Girth City. All right, Bridge Tech Communications. Now, I got to see the great Dennis Walsh. I got to meet him in person, him and the lovely lady, and the great Jerry Reyes as well. Now, and we talked about it, and Dennis Walsh said that he's made a lot of mistakes in life, but probably the biggest mistake he's made is not going to a gym that utilizes Bridge Tech Communication. He was telling me that a viper almost stung his ear. Can a viper sting you? I don't know if it can sting you or not, but yeah, either way. Doesn't matter. Bridge Tech Communications, 750% average ROI. Promotes 100-plus health entities across multiple states. Dennis Walsh is looking for somebody with a gym that will utilize that. Bridge Tech Communications. Check it out. Boom. Okay. What else we got? Talk to me. All right, Baggins. Now, speaking of which, the Dennis Walsh special. Ben One White, you don't have Baggins in California. That's why you need to come down here to the mean streets.
But I have had Baggins. It is very, very good.
Baggins, very, very tasty. Use code AZ12 for 15% off. We got to give the great Jerry Reyes credit. He bought like $500 worth of stuff or something, and they gave him like $70. Actually, more like $120. But either way, the point was true. Very, very good. Join our VIP text club. Text Baggins to 877-797-0444. Again, very, very good. Check it out. Baggins Gourmet Sandwiches. Yummy, yummy in the tummy. All right, Kobe L., you still don't have AC. Talk to us. Why?
I got to get it done. I mean, I got the fan rolling. I'm kind of sweating a little bit. I do need AC. I need it bad.
Comfort X HVAC is here for you. Cody James Martin can attest to this as well. And get entered into a Christmas raffle for a $100 gift card and a 6-month filter supply delivered. Services and maintenance, emergency repairs, installation, replacements, you name it, they got it. We very much like our people at Comfort X HVAC. All right, we got to talk about the man of girth now, Tobe Awaka. Listen, there's some things, and this is one of those things in life where people talk about, don't focus on the negative, all this and that. I agree with them, and yes, equity brewing, definitely. But Cody, if you could put us back on the screen, thanks. But Tobe Awaka, yes, he's probably going to struggle finishing against length from time to time, but his defense was absolutely fantastic today, the way that he was able to switch out and on. Some of the rebounds he got, the toughness that he brings, it's contagious. He was a monster. And like I said, defensively, he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was a really good matchup for him. I mean, there wasn't really anywhere outside of like the far wing where you couldn't have him on the court. And offensively, right, not only the defense, but you look at the offensive boards too. Like he created so many opportunities for Arizona just to make shots there late in the second half. And, we talk about how do we get that? I think it was Brogan who brought it up about a week ago. How do we get that magic number of 20 and 15 from the two bigs? It doesn't matter as long as it's a combination of Awaka and Krivas. I thought Krivas obviously had a great game, but Awaka definitely carried them in spots where they need them. And, he's just kind of that dog on that team, right? Where he puts his head down every single possession. It's going to be the same kind of guy. You know what you're going to get. And Arizona needed him today.
Right. Kobe?
No, I mean, it's kind of what we were talking about earlier with that versatility. Who would have thought that Awaka and Krivas would have been their best lineup tonight? Awaka was fantastic on defense. They were really trying to pick at him at the end of the game, and they kept on switching onto him with the ball handler, and he held his own. He was all over Dent. He was all over Clark. He didn't let those guys fly by him. So he did a lot. He does a lot of things in every game. I think we sit here like, oh, I didn't know Tobe could do that. He does a lot more and can do a lot more than we think he can. And that's just he's just a team player because he just does what he has to do. But every game we're sitting here like, oh, I didn't know you could do that.
He's a team player, and I think he and Mo play off of each other so nicely. Now, again, you really don't want them on the court at the same time. I mean, Tommy doesn't really like that, but defensively, and Mr. Tyler Warden, by the way, Mr. Tyler Warden, you want to do postgame with me tomorrow? Hey, Kobe L., you want to do postgame with me on football tomorrow?
I'll let you know tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. Well, either way, but you watch them, they're two totally different players, but they can provide so much more. And there's going to be some games where both of them are out of their element a little bit, but you're generally not going to find a game where both of them. But I think Tobe really, really showed a lot of people today that I think Tobe really showed a lot of people what he can do, and he can do a lot just across the board. He's an impressive young man, and you win with players like that. And then when you factor in as well that he's also probably, the sixth best player on the team, fifth or sixth best player, it shows you how good.
How many teams in the country can say that they have a big off the bench like Tobe Awaka? There are very little. I'll just put that
I don't think there's anyone. I mean, I don't think there's any team.
No, he'd start for half the top 25.
All right, now, the great Jerry Reyes says, Dear Mr. Krivas, $9.99 Super Snap. Yeah. He says, Dear Mr. Krivas, I'm sorry for what my friend Dennis L. Walsh has said before. You played great tonight. Thank you. Yes. That's the kind of friends we need in this. But Tobe, though, there's going to be games. There's going to be a lot of games where you're going to look up and Tobe is going to have 14 rebounds. And you're like, wow, I thought he had like 6. But that's kind of the epitome of what he's able to do. been one.
Yeah, and you're going to be like, how did that happen, right? I mean, he's a guy who averaged 8 and 7 off the bench, and to Kobe's point, like that's pretty respectable numbers. And if what you're talking about, for your front court, but yeah, he's sneaky good because he finds a way to create mismatches. He gets rebounds. He comes up with balls that I feel like a lot of teams are not paying fully attention to. So he just does a really good job defensively, and not only that, but extending possessions. And I thought that was his biggest strength tonight outside of the defense. They were just extending possession after possession for Arizona. Oh, that look didn't go in. Well, Tobe's going to be under the basket to make sure we get the ball back. Oh, that didn't work. Well, Tobe's going to make sure we get a second opportunity there. So no, he's great, man, and we're lucky as Arizona fans to be able to hang on to him, and the fact that he was able to come back because he could have had opportunities other places and got more money and all that. I'm not saying he's a top 10 center and forward in the country by any means, but he's respectable and he could have started for a lot of teams.
Hey, look, real quick, so fill me in. What's going on with Bobby Hurley? What's going on with that moron?
I know that Gonzaga's up 12 now, but they're saying that he's crashing out. I see people on Twitter saying he's flipping out too.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's great. Yeah, learn how to control yourself, buddy. I just gave you a compliment. Now you're turning around and acting like a jerk. Don't do it. Okay, now, let's see here. Meisner says there will be games when Tobe is outsized, and there will be. Hold on, let me go back up to that. I missed it. Hold on. Yeah, thank you, Cody. There will be games when Tobe is outsized, and there will be a game to give Krivas some rest, but there will also be games when Krivas is too slow, and he will back up Tobe. That is the best way that I can put it.
That's why they're perfect. Yep.
That's why they are literally perfect to have each other because, again, there's going to be games where both of them are a little out of their element. They're both going to make it work. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think I've been saying that off and on throughout the season on these post games that there are going to be games when it's definitely a Tobe game, and there are going to be games when it's definitely like a Mo game. They're going to be. That's kind of the benefit of having two very different bigs in your team, to where, like we saw last year, Tobe could not guard H-Dick. That was real bad.
Right.
Like that year, like if we had Krivas around, we could have stuck Krivas on. I'm like, well, you guys are the same size, so you can at least match up girth-wise. Having two different bigs, that really helps just because they'll be able to match up with most teams in the country.
Yes, and I think that's something that, like I said, I don't know that Arizona's had that in years past. Now, Koa L. Pete. I am not worried about Koa L. Pete. I think the one thing I will say is, this is one of those games where he's not going to be perfect all the time, and he was definitely pressing at some points in this game.
Yeah.
Some of the offensive fouls. Now, granted, some of the offensive fouls were stupid, or some of the fouls that he got were dumb. They were really ticky-tack. But if I were to tell you again that Arizona was going to win and Koa was going to have 7-6 or something like that, and that they would get outplayed by the two UCLA big men. When did Javier Booker become good? Like I didn't even know, or Javier Booker, Xavier Booker.
Booker, yep.
Yeah. When did he become good?
Well, he was good up until Jaden Bradley finished on him at the end there.
Yeah,
so that was nice.
He became good tonight. I mean, I'll put it that way. But it was funny because I actually remember when they got him in the portal, because he played 2 years at Michigan State and could never see the floor. And then
and then they give him $2 million.
Trilly was saying that they paid him $2 or $2.5 million. And I'm like, these guys are 6-4, and he only played in 20 games because they don't play him. And I'm like, oh, and all of a sudden he just starts raining threes on us tonight. I'm like, oh well, there you go. That's how it is.
I mean, maybe that's how it is. Yeah. Tyler Warden, I think that I agree with you on Koa. That is one thing that they absolutely need to. I think that is something that he does need to work on. J-Dibs, that was funny.
I will say on that, I feel like we haven't
read the comment. I always get yelled at for not reading the comments. Read the comments.
Oh, I know that. Tyler Warden said, or Mr. Tyler Warden, I got to correct myself there, but he said Koa needs to learn he can't get away with certain physical plays that he could in high school. Pushes off a lot. So I do agree with that. But I also kind of feel like that we need to work on our post-entry passes.
Oh, dude.
Like there are a lot of times that it's like, why are we throwing this pass? There's 4 defenders in the area. Or it's like, oh, you threw it at his foot, and he's going to have to bobble it around. You threw it at Mo's foot, and he's 7'2". Yeah. So they really have to work on those post-entry passes. That's probably their biggest weakness on offense at the moment.
Yeah. Now there's let's see here. There's two things. Now, Nate says, let's not skip over the fact that Mo can't play defense on the outside. His numbers don't show how many outside points he gave up. I agree with you on that, but that's also why we also have a Tobe Awaka in
That's
there.
not his job, though, right?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, anybody that's 7'3" and 980 pounds, they're not going to.
As much as we're going to complain about that, Tommy has shown that he will always want to play drop coverage. It didn't even matter if he had Henry in. He was more than willing to play drop coverage.
I hate
pick and rolls.
I'll be honest.
That's something he's really stubborn on. So I don't think, as much as we complain, I don't really think it's ever on a player. That's just on a scheme.
I hate that, though, to be honest with you. I don't like it because I think it allows other teams to just get into a zone. When I say, you know what, hey, hopefully we'll miss some threes or you'll miss some wide open threes, I just don't like that. Now with Javier Booker who am I?
I like Javier better though.
Javier Amos is the one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Xavier.
Yeah, but with Xavier Booker though, man, if that guy's going to make some threes, then so be it. I get it, but I don't like the drop coverage. I've never liked that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't like it, but that is my opinion. I don't know that Tommy Lloyd really cares what my opinion is on this. Now,
I think Tommy Lloyd would tell you to look at the scoreboard, my friend.
Yeah, no, and I get it. Yeah, Tommy Lloyd's the man. Okay, now, hello, Jason. OC Bodybuilders, $9.99. Hey, did you know that when we lived at the Stone Avenue Standard, OC Bodybuilders lived there as well, Ben One White?
Yep, sure do.
I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, he's a good man. I was at the game real time. Krivas and ADO kept us in the game. General Krivas instead of the Glacier. I like that. General Krivas instead of the Glacier. That's
General Krivas sounds like a communist war general in like a Cold War movie.
No, he sounds like an Eastern European guy. He that sounds like cold soup. Like you're on one of those like Panzer tanks or something, and you're like drinking this soup that used to be warm, but now it's like frozen particles and it's got like dead bugs in it and things.
It sounds like something out of like a Cold War movie.
Yeah. Cold War, cold soup.
Sounds like something Mick Cronin would eat. Somebody put earlier that Mick Cronin drinks black coffee cold.
Yeah, yes. No, I like the ones where they're like Mick Cronin Peace sitting down. That's very funny. Yes. All right. Yes, Brad Hawk. We need to agree with that. That's a great name, too, Brad Hawk. I really hope that's his real name. Javier, we'll get to your point in a second. Okay, but Brad Hawk says, can we talk about how bad Tommy's inbounds plays are? That's what – yes. That is one that I don't know why this is such an issue. Like when they got the ball to ADO at the end of the game, that was great. But, man, it's painful to look at because it looks like it's like a 50-50 proposition that the ball is going to get stolen or not. Which one of you guys wants to take that or nobody?
I'll let Ben take this one.
Yeah, Ben,
okay.
Take it, Ben One White.
I mean, it's deja vu. I mean, we see it every single game. I wish I had a better answer for you. Defenses, I think, obviously recognize that, and they make it a point to really press in those situations. But you're not wrong. I mean, when you talk about two things that lack or issues with Tommy Lloyd teams, it's the zone coverage giving up three-pointers, and it's the inbound passes. That's the recurring theme we see.
Yeah, and Mr. Tyler Warden says even the sideline inbounds pass right before the half was bad.
It was awful. Yeah.
I wonder if they practice it. Like honestly, because it just doesn't look like they ever practice it. I mean, I'm sure they do, but it doesn't feel like they practice it because this is a game by game by games. You know what? Any team that's playing Arizona, they should just try to keep the game close, and they're like, yeah, and then we'll just worry about you doing the stupid inbounds passes. I don't get it.
Well, it's not even just like after the pass; it's the whole procedure. It's
right.
It's even the inbounder. It's like there are times when the inbounder makes bad passes, or it's like they fumble the ball, or they get stuck in the corner. It's very bad, and it needs to get corrected very soon because they almost did blow the Florida game because of that.
Oh, they were really lucky.
There are going to be games this year where if they keep doing that, they might blow a game because of that.
Yeah, Cronin wipes forward. I've never heard that one before. Yes. Too busy winning. Cronin. I've never heard that before. That is
is that even possible? Can you do that?
That's what I was thinking.
Yes. Okay. Now, yeah, I don't know that was possible. Yes.
Give me a bad picture in my head.
Yeah, you could not have these issues in March. You could not have these issues in March because you're going to be playing close games, and sooner or later that's going to come back and bite you in the butt, and you don't want to have that happen. So at least, yeah. All right. So now let's talk a little bit moving forward then. Hey, did we move up to 1 in Ken Palm?
Cody can maybe keep an eye on that. You want to circle back to
check that right now. I thought it updated at night though.
You want to circle back to Koa Pete because we were about to go there.
Yeah, okay. Well, all right, let's get a couple reads in here first, though. Talk to me. Reads. All right, yeah, Foster pipe. Benno and White, is your front pipe working, yes or no? Yes or no question?
Yes, it is, the front pipe.
Yes, okay, all right. Kobe Elfield, is your front pipe working?
I'll check later tonight. I'll get back to you on that.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, that's probably not a great sign then if you're not
better
sure.
Call Foster Plumbing.
Yeah, you better. I don't know that Danny's going to be able to help with that. But, yes, residential and commercial, licensed, bonded, and insured. Foster Plumbing, baby. Quality work at a fair price. Back the nutless front pipe. I agree with that. 10% off when you mention the AZ12 podcast. Call 520-603-3817 to schedule service today. I've seen a bunch of Foster. I saw a big Foster van on it was like Craycroft today or something. They're everywhere. Get in there, back the pipe. Gas, water, sewer repairs, you name it, they got it. Big 12 Bobby puts it very well. He just said Mick got fostered tonight. I like it. Boom. Check it out. Boom. All right. Now, RJ's Frozen Cactus, baby. All right. Huge parking lot. We talked about this. We talked about this a lot with Dennis Walsh. He admitted that he can't back his jet into the parking lot there.
Oh, so he didn't bring the jet today? Oh,
nah, he didn't bring the jet. Now, Harry Lex. Dennis Walsh, we're going to have Dennis Walsh said that you were basically right. We went down in Ken Palm. What the heck? Yeah, I don't get.
Yeah, I have Ken Palm up. We can talk about that after the read.
Yeah, I think I guy's a moron then. But either way, Dennis Walsh cannot back his jet up. Harry Lex has confirmed this, and Dennis Walsh admitted that he probably wasn't right about that, even though, I think he technically can. No bad seats in the house. Pizza, wings, tacos, burgers, and more. 100+ craft beers plus $2 deals. Huge parking lot. You can park a jet in. Home of the AZ12 watch parties. Go starch yourself there with some really good food. Yummy, yummy in the tummy. Red hot sports and ice cold beer. Nice try, Harry Lex. All right, Longview, Andre Veras. I saw Andre Veras today. He was great. He's a great man. Very much enjoyed seeing Andre Veras. He kept trying to get me to endorse him. He's tried the entire time. Tried liquoring me up. Tried flattering my parents. No, wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. Not going to do it. But I can highly recommend Andre Veras, though. Trying to balance your retirement with your kids' college funds and all that stuff. Check it out. Give Andre a call at 520-325-3456 and AZ12 podcast for a complimentary initial meeting. Yes, Purdue is cold soup. Mike is a legend. Yes, thanks. Purdue is cold soup. Yes. Okay. Now, all right. Now, what do we got?
I did like the comment, though, before you go to Ken Palm from Tommy Cronin. They don't make plungers big enough for turds like Cronin.
That's a really good one. Those turds are probably bigger than him. Okay, so Ken Palm. This is where I don't get Ken Palm. A lot of his stuff makes no sense to me. Like his preseason coaching rankings, where he had Bobby Hurley. He had Danny Hurley 8th or something, and then some guy from some guy from Santa Clara ahead of him or something. All right, what does he have him at 11?
Yeah, he has them at 11. And before the game, I believe he had them at – what did he have them at? He had them at 7 or 8 before the game. Mm. They moved down a couple spots. Right now, he says that the defense is better than the offense, which, I guess today probably skewed that. But he also has them as the 35th luckiest team in the country.
See,
they have the luck stat on there too.
Okay, I don't understand this. How in the world then can you have Arizona has beaten Florida and UCLA?
By the way, Florida's ahead of them. By the way,
yeah, there's no way. I disagree with Ryan Mitchell. How in the world? No issue with Ken Palm ranking. Then how do you have Florida ahead of? Arizona?
I think part of it was that he had UCLA pretty low. They had UCLA in the 30s before today.
Okay, well, all right, that's all fine and dandy, but you can't make you can't really make that case then, in my opinion.
Want me to read some of the teams ahead of them? So
sure, it's gonna piss me off, but yeah, go.
All right, well, Duke's 1.
Okay.
Houston.
Right.
Gonzaga.
Okay.
Kentucky.
Okay.
Purdue.
Yeah.
UConn.
Yeah.
Illinois.
Yeah. No.
I thought that would be the one to make you mad.
What?
Iowa State.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah,
Louisville.
these teams aren't better. See, that's where it pisses me off, though, because it's like
Iowa State has played nobody.
Iowa State's played nobody, and they're not better. Yes. Dennis Walsh, was great seeing you. Very much appreciate you showing up.
And then Florida. They have Florida at 10.
How do you have Florida ahead of Arizona? Florida's beaten nobody, and they lost to Arizona.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get it at all. And
what is a luck stat? Like, how is that even calculated?
From my understanding, I kind of dove into it last year. The luck stat has to do with how teams shoot and play against you versus how they typically play. So it would be like, okay, so like Florida shot like crap against Arizona, but they're actually really good shooters. So they got lucky that they shot like
all right.
crap.
So did UCLA
get
lucky then? They shot 9 of 17 in this.
Well, right now UCLA is the 305th luckiest team in the country.
Well, they made a lot of 3-pointers.
They're unlucky.
Today. Yeah, they made a lot of 3-pointers today. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's just a low sample size. I think it sucks. Yeah, Mr. Tyler Broker said if I met Mike's parents, I'd ask how. Trust me, you'd be that. We wouldn't be the first person that would ask.
We've all asked.
We've all asked that. Yeah, get in line there, buddy. Nice try. Okay, so I don't really get that. Now let's talk about UConn. This is going to be the toughest game that Arizona's going to play all season. And this is why I think it's also very, very nice that Cody. That was a funny tweet you sent, by the way. This is a. They're good across the board. You got especially in the backcourt. You got Solo Ball. That was not my nickname in high school, double ball. But yeah, so you had Solo Ball, and then you got the Silas Demery kid. Both of those guys are really, really good. You're good up front. You're really well coached as well. That's going to be the toughest game of the season. It's in stores as well. If Arizona can somehow win that game, I think you can. And again, I realize you're 5 games into the season, but if Arizona wins that game, I think you can really start talking about being possibly a one seed because you start getting some really, really good wins at that point, guys.
Well, it stacks up well, and you hope. Yeah, I don't think Arizona wins that game. I mean, I'm going on a limb a little bit early, but you hope that it's close, right? It's something like respectable, like you think about the Duke game last year. UConn has a lot more, I guess, experience and just better time together across the board. And obviously the recruiting class that they brought in is great. And you know what they're going to be able to do. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough game on the road, East Coast time. So it's tough to see, though, Arizona making as many mistakes as they did today and having just lopsided performances from their best players. It's tough to see them crawling back in a game like UConn, just because it's so different, the style of play, the scoring, all that stuff. And if you're down, 10 early and you're turning the ball over left and right and UConn's making threes left and right, that's kind of the game where I think you have to open up your eyes and realize like that's not going to fly. So it's a totally different game. Will Arizona perform good? I think so. But at the same time, I don't expect them to win that game. I just want it to be competitive and I want Buries to look comfortable. I want Koa Pete to kind of bounce back. There's just a lot of individual things I'll be looking for, and we'll kind of just go from there.
Kobe L.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about it earlier. Let's get greedy. Last year, you weren't in this position. You were in a spot where it was like, we got to scrap every single game. This year, you had 2 ranked wins under your belt. I think the goal should be winning. At this point, you're 2-0. The goal should end up being going 4-2 in these bigger non-con games. So, I mean, that would be theoretically losing to UConn and Alabama, but then beating Auburn and San Diego State. So 4-2 is very obtainable. Right. But let's get greedy here. Let's try to play for 5-1.
I want to get 6-0. If you can get 5-1 or 6-0, then you're really. And
you cemented yourself as a contender for that number 1 seed.
No, absolutely.
If you're going to non-con, if you're going to conference 13-0 with the schedule. Funny enough, Ken Palm actually says that we have the 130th hardest non-conference schedule. Fun fact.
What?
They have us at it's 120 for non-con strength of schedule because teams like Oakland the Oakland Grizzlies are number 1 in non-con strength of schedule because they've played Purdue, Michigan, and Alabama. So that's but it's just funny that we're like the 120th non-con.
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous. That also goes to show that list sucks. Because I don't know how else to put it. Any team that's playing Florida, UCLA, Auburn, Alabama, and UConn, that is not the 119th. That's cool. We played NAU and Utah Tech. Every other team did. Every other team has cupcakes.
I think Oakland's at 1 right now because they played Michigan, Purdue, and Houston. Those are their 3 games.
Right, Michigan, Purdue, and Houston. Yeah,
and they've lost by 50, 10, and then 40.
Yeah, I don't. So. All right. So it's to date, but it's still, there's no way that Arizona playing UCLA and Florida should have the 129th. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, BYU, that's a big loss for BYU. You lost Kennard Davis. That is not a Kennard. That's going to be a big loss for them. Big game
tomorrow, BYU, UConn. Keep an eye on it.
Big BYU and y'all. That is interesting. Now, Kobe L. I would assume, and Land, jump in here as well. Assuming that if Kennard Davis did get popped for a DUI and it's upheld, he's out for the season, right?
Well, so yeah, BYU is a little different than most universities because they have that honor code where that even applies to students, not even to student athletes. Mm-hmm. So something like that is an honor code violation. That's why Retzlaff had like a dictated suspension because that was due to the honor code. So if that is true, that is definitely like an honor code violation, and he will have some form of punishment, whether that be like a year suspension, whatever. But it's not good. I'll leave it at that.
Well, and you know what? That's what I like about BYU as well, is that they're honest. It's they're honest. They're not like they're like, hey, you break this rule, you are out.
They're not like Georgia, Mike.
Oh, I will say they do have some funky rules in their honor code. Like I actually learned, because I have some friends that are BYU alum, like on Twitter. They were telling me, so I was asking them about it the other day. They had a rule that they actually it's not as strict now because you can get a card to get around it. But you know how you get like a marijuana card? They had beard cards. You couldn't grow facial hair unless you had a card that it was due to a religious thing. So that was even like an honor code violation. So it's pretty strict code.
Yeah, I like their consistency, though. They're like, hey, no sex. Brandon Davies, guess what? You're off the team. Bye. Or, same thing with the Reds Clapper or whatever his name is. And Kennard Davis.
The honor codes for the entire school, including maintaining their gospel standards, being honest, living
disagree.
Honorably and abstaining from substances.
See, I disagree with Baba Ganoush. I don't think the honor code's done. That's what they stand for. You know the drill when you sign up for that. It's like
if you go to BYU, you have to know what school you're going to.
Well, exactly. So. You know what it's like? You know what it's like?
Provo. That's all you need to know.
No, I'm going to say this. It's like if I go into a place that says no smoking or something, and I'm like, you know what? I don't like this rule. I'm just going to start smoking a cigarette. Well, I knew what I was
out in the open too, like you're not even hiding it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I respect the consistency of it. That's me. So it is.
I respect that there is like an actual code that they have to abide by, and like I said, it's like you want to go to BYU. That's great, but you have to know exactly what you're signing up for.
Right, exactly.
Because there are definitely other schools like Alabama that would just hide that and then not do anything.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And that's the so that's kind of where it is. Now, Land the Man says that the soaking is not real. Fake news created by Utah fans. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I'd put nothing past Utah fans. Okay, so then UConn. Now, let's talk a little bit about Alabama. With Alabama, I will say this. Alabama, Arizona's a lot better up front. If they still do the same thing, and I've watched one game, if they still do the same thing that they did, that they've basically done where they shoot 500 threes, we're going to have to actually guard the 500 threes because they might make some of those. That is something with Tommy's D that I don't like, but again, that sounds terrible. But that is something with Tommy's defense that I don't like. Guys, thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at what they did against Purdue. They only shot 36%, which for them is typically low. So, yeah, I mean, if they start rolling the way UCLA did in this kind of game, it's going to be a totally different ball game. But Arizona does have the advantage up front. I think top to bottom, the roster is clearly better. Alabama just can get good at hitting threes, and that's been their MO really with Nate Oates. So you saw it a couple of years ago. Arizona was able to climb out of that, But if we're in a game where, the struggles persist like they did tonight with some of these key players, could get a little dangerous there.
Yeah. Kobe L. Yeah, I would agree with
No,
that.
I mean, we were talking about Alabama. That is just their MO. I mean, I know I was at that game in Phoenix, and I actually just pulled up the box score, but they shot, let's see, I want to say 43s.
Right.
They shot 8 for 41 from three. That's just how Nate Oates wants to play. He's going to chuck up 40 to 53s and not really play any defense. So that's a game where they might have to switch their defense up because they only beat them by 7, it looks like, and they went 8 for 40 from three.
Right.
So,
I think the thing that I look at as well is that with that, and Auburn sucks as well. I don't worry about that one really either. But we'll see. I think Arizona's going to perform very well. Now I want to talk a little bit about the Big 12 right here, but let's get the rest of these ad reads in. What do we got? Talk to me. 88 crime. Now, if you see somebody that's going around stealing catalytic converters or going into Sephora and stealing all their makeup and then running out with it, and you don't want to have to deal with all of it, 88 crime says, come to us. Okay, now, it's anonymous. That's the great thing. You got they've solved over 1,000 cases. And that's because it is, they're there for you. So if you see something going on and you're like, you know what, I don't want to get involved with that, boom, check it out. It should be a crime for Mike to look this fine. Yeah, absolutely. Report me there.
That's a first. Wow.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'll take it. 88 crime. Get in there right now, but don't call, don't call on me, though. Boom. Okay. At least I hope so. Yes, Matthew. All right, now the Family Food Project. Our good pal Cheryl. Donations made with AZ12 comment will be matched cumulative up to $10,000. Direct aid plus life skills development, cooking, nutrition, you name it. 255 meal kits per week. 2026, 1,000 meal kits per week. That is the goal. Get in there. Boom. Okay. All right, not just a football school. We've talked about it before. The reproduction rates in this country will be based off these shirts. Just like guys came home from World War II and they're like, you know what, it's time to start having kids. That's what's going to happen here with these football shirts. Everybody out there, if you're looking at starting a family or you're thinking to yourself, man, I'd like to, I don't know, I want to impress the lady, but I don't know how, just get the T-shirt and everything will be good from there. Okay, now, 2 super snaps from Will Perry, both $4.99. Very much appreciate you, Will Perry. Very much appreciate you. Okay, now, let's talk in the Big 12. I think Arizona's best team in the Big 12. I'm going to say it right now. I know a lot of people. Like Houston. I get all that. I think Houston took a big step back this year. I think BYU is killed by losing Kennard Davis because now you have 4 players or 5 players. I don't think Kansas is good enough. I think Iowa State stinks. And I think Texas Tech isn't that good. I think Arizona's the best team in the Big 12. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kennard Davis is a huge loss for them. I know, was it Skier that was saying that they pretty much said that they know that their bench isn't that great because they just went all in on paying their starters. Was that him who said that? Something like that.
Yes.
But I think losing that is a huge loss. Oh, what did
he ask?
Amy
I apologize
Sanders
for
say?
missing that. Amy Sanders. I apologize. What did let's see here. What was the question?
If you put the question in again, we'll see it.
Yeah, can you put the question up there? You don't have to pay us again, but if you can put the question up there. Yeah, I'm sorry if I missed that one. We'll read all the super snaps back at the end. But yeah, Ben, I think this is the best team in the Big 12.
I do too. And I think when you look at Houston, right, you're not going to know for a while because when you look at their non-conference schedule, Auburn is the best team that you're going to see for quite a while until Big 12 play. And I'm not going to assess based on that game. Tennessee later in November, who knows if they're even ranked at that point. Again, yeah, Arizona, I think, has top to bottom, has played the best. They have the best wins, and it's not even close. And you look at what's going on at BYU. You look at Kansas, their best guy is injured. Bill Self's trying to downplay it, saying it's not a serious injury, but who knows? They certainly didn't look good against UNC when I watched that game a couple of weeks ago. Texas Tech hasn't really shown much. Not really sure on Baylor. Iowa State is kind of meh. But again, it's still early. But yeah, I think top to bottom, I think it would be hard to say Arizona hasn't proven the most, has proven the most, excuse me, which I think makes them the best team in the conference at this point.
Okay, Tyler Broker says the 999 Super Snap. The Mo hook and dribble drive was amazing, but Bradley, this team is generational. Bear down. I did not think Mo had that in his bag, as the kids would say, where you take the one dribble and then you take it to the basket. That was awesome. Okay, now as far as Cam Williams goes, here's where I'm at. Cam Williams obviously is a loss. There's no doubt about it, but people also need to understand too that Cam Williams. Okay, so I will say this about Cam Williams, Amy, is that, yes, Arizona's going to attack the portal very, very heavily. I also don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens because there's a lot of rumors that Duke, that both the Boozers are going to come back to Duke. If that comes back, I think a lot of people are going to be trying to get out of their scholarships. So we will see on that. But you got to remember a couple things. Up front in the front court, you got some players already. You're going to have Dwayne. You're going to have Yvonne. You're going to have Ceedee. You could have Mo. They've got to address that. That'll probably be in the portal. That's what I would. That's what I would imagine. But also, the Duke thing is fluid just because of the situation with the Boozers, and there are some real rumors about them both coming back because they want to play again together, and they'll both get like $20 million. So that will that's an interesting one. So we shall see. Okay, let's read this super snaps here. Yeah, we got like 24. Oh, we got 24 super snaps. Holy moly, man! Yeah. Lunch is on me. Okay, $5 AZ Wildcat fan. UCLA lost this game because they could not score on the perimeter with their guards and wings against Tobe Awaka's defense over and over and over. Very, very true. Jeremiah Dibble, 1999 Super Snap. Big win, made piles again in tonight, and here to share the wealth. Natty or nothing, yeah. Okay, now, Udafo, 1999 Super Snap. Bear down, Arizona. Okay, the underappreciated guys stepped up tonight. TJ Wilmore, props to Deli and Awaka. Them with Bradley being the man saved us tonight. Krivas was good too, absolutely. Okay, Lance 2911, never doubted ADO. Thank you, Lance. We need more of you. Mr. Tyler Warden 499. Let the record show that Mr. Tyler Warden supported ADO and Krivas all off season. Jodas 499. The team will reach its full potential if Krivas plays like a man. Yep, absolutely. Udafo, $9.99 Super Snap. Deli. Okay, yeah, what else we got? Steve Hernandez, $2. When will Buries wake up? Man, that's the question. AZ Wildcat fan, $2. Krivas has stronger catches in traffic today. Very much so. Very much so. TJ Van Martyr, back the A, $9.99. On my way for the game and still hyped. ADO and JB the GOATs. Okay. Stut Joe, great game. Anything at all that concerns us? Not right now, my friend. We are a happy show. Jeremiah Dibble, $9.99. Buries is going to figure it out. Definitely not playing well, but most likely his first time facing this kind of adversity. Hashtag coming soon, BB breakout. Okay. Meisner, $10. I like how the announcer said UCLA and Arizona won the Pac-12 23 times combined, but like 18 of those were Arizona. That's like saying Deli and Yvonne combined for 24. Very good point by Meisner. Jose L. Roman Jr., $9.99. I love that U of A is winning without peaking just yet. We want to peak in November and December. Yes, yes, yes. Stud Show, best one white appearance since 03-25 in Washington. Yes, Ben One White. People still don't think you made that call. Will Perry, since Cam Williams is going to Duke, do we go transfer? Yes, I believe so. Yes. Jerry B, $4.99. Dirtbags in Arcadia Phoenix was lit tonight. Okay. Now, Bab, $9.99. UCLA came in averaging only under 10 turnovers per game, had 16 tonight. U of A has been forcing 15 per. Going into tonight, the defense has been showing well so far. Agreed. Jerry Reyes, $9.99. Dear Mr. Krivas, I'm sorry that my friend Dennis L. Walsh said before, you played great tonight. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. OC Bodybuilders, I was at the game real time. Krivas and ADO kept us in the game. General Krivas instead of the Glacier. I like it. Will Perry, $4.99. Two $4.99s. I think hopefully we answered those ones there for you. And then what do we got? Tyler Broker, the Mo hook and dribble was amazing, but Bradley, this team is generational. Bear down. Yes, agreed. Okay, everybody, we're going to sign off about 15 minutes early. I am tired, plus we have a post-game tomorrow. Arizona, the best team in the country right now, and nobody can tell me otherwise. And again, you guys are great. We're going to have a post-game tomorrow at probably about 1 o'clock. Arizona, Cincinnati, keep in mind, we are a football school as well. Very much appreciate you guys all. We will be back with you tomorrow, bright and early, for the great Bedouin White. Kobe L. Thiel, everybody in the comments, very much appreciate you all. Cody behind the scenes making us sound better than we should. We'll talk with you tomorrow, TTFN. Oh, and go to Little Caesars. Code 1099 bundle. Classic pepperoni or pizza, crazy bread, and 2-liter, or code LCFREECC. Free crazy combo with any pizza purchase. We are a football school. Let's do this tomorrow. BTFD, back the A. We'll be back with you tomorrow, TTFN.